What's going on, guys? It's Flaws, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to play the attacker side in Valorant. The first thing and the biggest thing is communication. So if you're not communicating with your team on where you want to hit, how you want to hit it, you're just going to be really dysfunctional and unorganized when you're hitting sites, and that's going to leave a lot of holes in where you can get lurked, someone can make a play on you, or half your team's pushing out and half your team's sitting back. The number one biggest thing is a lot of games just kind of end up in this weird state where you almost hit the site and half your teammates are like kind of sitting back and not fully committing to it, and some are pushing through those smokes with like flashes and stuff and just splitting your push into a lot weaker one than it would be if everyone went together. So like, for example, if we hit A, let's say like we take a little fight here, maybe you trade 1-for-1, and the attackers don't know what to do once this gets smoked. You just have a couple people sitting like this, waiting out the smoke. Maybe someone's pushing up, playing close to this door, and you're just kind of like staring at nothing. You're waiting for something to happen. What that does is it leaves time for someone to flank, like kind of close that distance so you can't really rotate back out. Someone could break the door, someone could flash through, someone could open this. And a lot of the times people just sit here like this. They don't really know what to do, where to go from here. And you end up losing the round just from time alone. That being said, you can either play through tree, you can play through the smoke, or you can play through door. All you have to do is just decide with your team what you're going to do for the round. If you have someone holding flank, it's a little bit easier just to kind of wait. Maybe you have like a turret that's set up. But once they break that turret, it kind of splits your like focus from hitting the site to dealing with that person flank. Even if you do like hit the site and take it, the person that can be flanking has a lot of space that's like cut off for you to fall back into. Like, let's say you do hit through tree, and right now the turret's broken on the flank. You have this site, but then you have an option right now. It's like half your team could be sitting right here just kind of holding this door angle and waiting for them to retake, and then you have some people pushing to the back of site. So then when someone rotates back in, like through here, all they have to do is get one kill in the back of site, drop down, and then this person that's playing in the middle site gets pinched from two different angles. Like when you're playing for after plants, very commonly people will over peek on your team and just kind of take 1v1 fights when it could be like a free kill, and if not, like it's a free trade. So like instead of playing someone holding this area, you could have someone playing right here, someone playing right here, and you just play like a high-low right here. Or you could have someone holding back like this, or like even like this, just kind of jiggling this, then holding this angle, hold that, just kind of making sure that you have information if people are pushing in from CT or if they're pushing straight onto the site. And then maybe you have someone playing in tree right here, so this person's just holding this angle, and then once this person back site starts shooting, the person tree can swing and get like a free kill, because the person on the site that's like this, clearing out back site, once they see this person shoot, they're gonna take that fight, and while the person tree like hears that, all they have to do is swing, you get like a free kill, and then it's like another 1v1. Or your person that was backside takes like a couple shots at the fight and then goes back to cover, and then it's a 2v1 if it's like a 2v2. So keep that in mind. Like, don't over peek. If you have a bomb planted right here, there's no point in really taking a fight like this until they tap it. And if you wait long enough, they have to make a conscious decision to either like tap and stick it, or they have to like just take a gunfight with you. So either way, you're putting pressure on them. Same goes for every site. Like even B, you get a plant down, it's really open on the B site, so you can just be here, kind of just play like back here like this, just keep spotting. You can use abilities, obviously. If they do smoke it out, it's a little bit like more difficult for you to get back onto the site, but that's only if they have a smoke. And if they're tagged up, you can just spam. You might just get a free round win. Like kind of spam through the smoke. Depending on where you plant, it's obviously like easier or harder to spam. But that's like, yeah, that's just general knowledge of how to play after plants. If you can make an L with your team, so like, how do I explain this? If someone's playing in heaven right here, if they're holding this angle like really tight, if anyone pushes that person on door, this person's tagging them up first. And the person door, all they have to do is just hold like this. Once they tagged, you can swing out, and it's two people fighting the same angle, and there's no way of anyone getting pushed without them knowing. If you're like this though, and I'm swinging it like this and I'm holding this angle, if I die to someone here, the person heaven's gonna have a lot harder time swinging and peeking without maybe getting killed from a deeper angle and not being able to trade that. So keep that in mind on after plans. When we go back to hitting an actual site though, let's go to C. A really easy way to like take C without like losing someone is just set up like a turret here, something to get some knowledge, maybe even like a cam from Cypher just right there. Just make sure you can clear out angles like this really quickly if you're gonna hit the site fast. You don't need to lose anyone like for no reason, especially if it's like a player like, I don't know, Yoru or Cypher, or not Cypher, Chamber, who can just TP off the site. There's no reason in taking a gunfight and not being able to trade it. So just cam, get information, maybe you turret right here, and then swing off here. And then right when you get to this point, if this is smoked, you have to make a conscious decision with your team, depending on like who you're facing, what the utility is, who you think's on the site, if you're gonna hit it all together, or if you're gonna just wait out the smokes and stuff. So if you wait out the smokes, the one thing you have to keep in mind is someone could obviously push through here, and just kind of cut you off and get this part of the map, like all this area, and they can just sit like this. They don't even have to push up even farther, like they can just hold back there. And if any of you decide to rotate back out, there's a really good chance that they get 1, maybe 2 kills and a lot of info for their team. Also, Lotus is like a really good map to kind of show this because they can open door right here and make it really awkward for you guys if you're not gonna hit the site. So think about that when you're committing to something. Like, do we have someone holding B? Like, do we need to push this right now? Is there Cypher trips that could be set up? Can we nade those? Can we break those in any way? And then once you actually decide to commit to it, make sure you're using your utility like intelligently, like maybe smoke this, maybe smoke that, and then hit all together. The first person in is probably gonna die. It's like a really common misconception that like the entry should be the one getting all the kills. That's like not the case at all. The entry should just be making the space for your team. So maybe you have like jet dash in to their own smoke right here, and this person that's like holding a tight angle, if they're maybe on site like this. I know it's not like the most common angle, but something like this. If they see it dash through, they have to worry about the person backside as well as anyone else that's running through. Or you just raise boop yourself in, or you can just walk in. Like, it doesn't actually like have to be anything crazy. Even if you lose that gunfight, the person has to kill you and then reset the spray to get the next person, which hopefully you tagged them up a little bit. But that's like the whole idea of entries. Like, you're not the one who's going to be getting all the kills in the round. If you do get a kill and you keep pushing through, like even better. You should just keep clearing space for your team. Get set up on the site, push as deep as you can. Maybe don't over push where it's like, if I die here, like that doesn't really do anything for my team. If I die like here though, and I'm swinging back site and I fight someone here, that at least lets us know that there's someone closer on site that we have to deal with before we get that spike down. So keep that in mind. If you're playing like an entry person, if you're someone that's gonna sit back a little bit and like wait to set up the site, communicate with your team like, hey, I'll hold flank, and then once we get the spike down, I can like set up my stuff. Maybe set it up for like mound right here. There's no need for me to push onto the site and take those gunfights what my team needs to take. I can kind of sit back and just like wait to play that post plant. If anyone dies on site later, it's not really your fault. They're just taking 1v1s, which they like know that they either have to win or lose. And then if they die, there's no point in you like really trying to trade that right away, because if you're just playing in this safer spot and you prefer this angle, then I mean you might as well just stay there and not just die trying to run back in and like trade your team when they're already in like a tough spot to begin with. When we talk about lurking, I see a lot of lurks that have no purpose in the round. Like if we're gonna hit A, Lotus is a tough map for it, but let's say we're gonna hit A and they break door. We have a teammate that likes to lurk. Maybe it's like someone that doesn't really know what they're doing, but they've seen pros do it, so they're like, oh, I can do that. And they see free kills that pros get, so they just want them. If you're lurking like right here and your team's taking A, unless your team gets like 1 or 2 kills, you're kind of not doing your team justice in the round. The whole point of a lurk is to like push your advantage even farther. So if your team is hitting the site, they get a free pick like at the start of the round. Now it's a 5v4, and maybe someone's like really lit. All it takes is like 1 stray bullet from someone else playing on the site to even the odds back. So if you're lurking like this, let's see, and I'm here, and oh, okay, I hear one fell off, and I'm walking up. If my team still can't come through, like maybe someone's playing here still, or my team even gets onto the site, all it takes is for one person to be rotating in through C, like this. They just come through, swing. They see me, it's a free kill for them. It might be really awkward if I get in a spot where the whole team's like hit on the site dies and I wasn't there to trade it. It's a lot more like beneficial for you to just push with your team, make sure that spikes gets pushed down, and then you can go for a flank maybe through CT or push the advantage somewhere else. If you're not even, if you don't have control of the site and then you go for a lurk, it's not really helping your team, especially in solo queue where your executes aren't going to be like super well set up. It's not like you're going to be hitting 3 util on backside like executes where they all combo together and you get a Sova dart that scans with a molly and you're like pushing them into certain areas. Like, let's be honest, most of the games it's just someone pushing through a smoke, maybe 2 people pushing through a smoke, either dying or getting the kill, which it's a lot better if you just go with them and add that third person through the smoke. The first person could go like this, jump out. Even if someone's on site, they have to trace them, like the person jumping, and try to get that kill while someone else swings right through the other side. And even if they do flick and get that next person, isn't it way better that you come out as a third person and trade that than if no one's there and they just get 2 free kills on site and they know for a fact that no one else is pushing them? Just something to think about. I think like lurking something that is a good thing in theory, but if you're lurking every round and it's not really helping your team, you're just kind of weakening the push. The next big thing I want to talk about is, should you push through a smoke or not? A lot of the times, like, if you're playing against someone that has like good information on the other side of smokes, like let's say there's a Cypher trip and you know that, or there's like a KJ turret, it's almost better to just like wait out the smoke and just kind of hold like the angle once it drops. You can even throw like a molly for when it's fading and then just kind of hold these longer angles. But just talk to your team on what you want to do for the round. If you want to like play long angles, wait out smokes, wait out utility, and then it just makes hitting the site a lot easier because they can't use those later in the round. So just keep that in mind, and that's really all. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.